Exactly 23 years ago today, on January 27, 2002, an explosion rang from the military cantonment in Ikeja, capital of Lagos State, after bombs and explosive materials accidentally detonated in the armory of the barracks. The effect was akin to that of an earthquake. It claimed over 1,000 precious lives and left behind a trail of grief, destruction, and heartbreak. Here is an account of what happened that day. Welcome to HumAngle Historia.
But we are all safe, and you are safe too. People around the Ikeja cantonment and the around people, you should stay home calmly. These sporadic explosions.
The deafening roar of the explosion shattered the city's calm as buildings were reduced to rubble and families torn apart. While running helter-skelter, residents heard several other explosions of the same intensity, and many thought a war had broken out. A desperate stampede would later claim more lives, and the death toll kept rising minute after minute. Each passing moment brought news of more casualties, more families torn apart, and more lives lost in the mayhem. While different streets were transformed into a gruesome landscape of death, one location stood out as a scene of unimaginable horror. It was the canal at Ajao Estate, which links Oke-Afa in Isolo.
The number of bodies recovered from the canal as a result of the stampede.
The surface of the canal was covered by water hyacinth, and people running for safety thought it was dry land covered by bush. As panic-stricken victims jumped on it, they never resurfaced. The canal became a mass grave, swallowing hundreds of people in an instant. The sheer scale of the tragedy was staggering. When the dust finally settled the next day, the death toll had surpassed 1,000. Many more were never seen again, their fates a haunting mystery. Thousands were left displaced, their lives forever shattered. The survivors were left to pick up the pieces, their bodies scarred, their minds forever traumatized. One of those who suffered major loss during the blast is Sauli Adoni, who lost 4 children, Wasilat, Raliat, Rahima, and Mansura. They all scampered for safety alongside hundreds of people. Raliat was the first to jump into the canal, thinking they were going to survive, and others followed. 23 years later, Adoni has not recovered from the trauma that followed the incident. She sometimes visits the Oke-Afa Memorial Arcade, where victims of the Ikeja cantonment bomb blast are buried. For Surajuddin Karim, the memories of the fateful days still linger, etched in his mind like an open wound. He lost his 19-year-old son, Shakiru, a promising student at Lagos State University. The teenager who was going to visit his aunt in Apapa had tried to rush back home due to the chaos. Tragically, he never made it. His father recalled the agonizing search for his son's body, scouring the carnage, police stations and mortuaries, but he never found him. On the other hand, Oyebamiji Moji has been left distraught since her daughter Florence died. Florence left home when many people scampered for safety but never returned. After several desperate searches, her lifeless body was seen at the Oke-Afa canal. It was really a devastating day for Nigeria.
But you should also help us to be able to help you. How? Remain calm. Do as you are told. The governor is here.
In the aftermath of the blast, the Nigerian government and emergency responders worked tirelessly to rescue those trapped, and also set up a committee on Lagos Explosion Disaster Relief Fund, headed by the then Secretary to the federal government, Ufot Ekaiti. Today, we remember the victims of the Ikeja cantonment bomb blast. We honor their memories and pay tribute to the resilience of the Nigerian people. We also remember the families who lost loved ones, the survivors who were injured, and the first responders who risked their lives to save others. The incident was a tragic reminder of the importance of safety and accountability. May we never forget the lessons of that fateful day. This episode was reported and scripted by Adejumo Kabir. It was edited and voiced by Hawa Shafi Nuhu. The multimedia editor is Anthony Asemota. The executive producer is Ahmad Salkida.